Hi there. So, today I'm going to talk about something that has been rather challenging, but also at the same time completely freeing over the age of 50, and that is downsizing and decluttering. There's something that hits you at this stage of life when you're over 50, and I'm almost 60 years old. Your kids are growing up. Um, they're starting to have their own lives and leaving the house, and you just really start to look at things and realize, how much do I really need at this point in my life? You start to feel that all of these possessions that you have are just weighing you down. And let me tell you, I would never have thought that I would be thinking about getting rid of the things that I have and letting go. I'm not just talking about tossing out old magazines or old cheerleading trophies, in my case, but just really just letting go of stuff and just realizing what really matters in life. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about just the things that have helped me over the past several months with this process, which I can tell you has been rather emotional for me. The benefits of it, and also the system that I have used to declutter my home after gathering all these items for the time that I've lived here in this particular house, which I am currently selling. But it's been about 20 years. But plus there's items that I have accumulated for probably over 40 years that I'm finally going through and getting rid of. So today I'm going to share that journey with you. If you yourself have been feeling overwhelmed by this process of decluttering, I can tell you that is, just gosh, acknowledge those feelings. I know I have struggled here over the past several months, especially the past couple weeks, as I prepare to move from my house to a smaller place for the time being. But it's just really brought up a lot of feelings, and I'm hoping that my journey that I'm going to share with you today, and the process that I'm going through, and the tips and things that I like to share is going to be helpful for you. So let's get into it. So I'm going to share with you today the good things and the bad things that I've gone through here, and then at the end of the video, I'm going to share some really helpful tips. So stay tuned. So the good would be, I can tell you the peace that I have felt, just the whole decluttering process and throwing things out and having a decluttered space and just getting rid of things. It's just really been, it's really brought some peace to my life, honestly. I had an attic full of my son's toys. He is now going to be turning 20 years old, and I had an attic full of toys that I just didn't want to get rid of. I had that attachment to them, and I really, I guess, in a way, still liked seeing them around. I was holding on to them for some reason, and um, that including some other items that I've had in a box of my own, cheerleading trophies. I haven't been a cheerleader for, my gosh, over 40 years, and I still had a box full of those trophies. And you're attached to them. Those are memories and things that you just want to remember. But I can tell you, um, those memories remain in your heart. You don't necessarily have to keep those physical things. So, again, the peace that you feel when you look at an area that had been cluttered and full of stuff for 20 years, and it's finally clean, and you just get a sense of peace from that. So the next thing I would say that is good about this is that you're giving your children a gift of not having to worry about this stuff in the future. And um, you know what I'm talking about. You just you think about that. At least I've thought about it. Where, okay, one day when I'm going to be gone, and my son is going to have to go through this stuff of mine and worry about getting rid of it. I'm giving that gift of already making that decision for him and just getting rid of the stuff so he doesn't have to worry about it. I know when my mom passed away about 10 years ago, she didn't have a whole lot, but she had downsized to an apartment, but still had stuff, and even furniture and things like that. I mean, you're going to have some stuff that you're still going to have that your kids are going to have to get rid of, furniture and clothes and things like that. And I still had a hard time with that because it's a piece of what you're, especially my mother. She had some furniture left in her apartment and things like that. Obviously, she had passed away pretty suddenly, but um, it's they're still going to have some difficulty when you're gone and a few things to get rid of, but it's just that additional clutter and things like that that you're giving them that gift of getting rid of it before and having to take that time to go through a house full of things, um, to donate or get rid of. So some of the bad things I'm going to share with you now about this whole process is the main thing, that emotional attachment to items that you have. It's hard to get rid of things. You have, at least I have found that I have that attachment to certain items. My son had, when he was younger, he had, actually, I had kept a whole crate full of his drawings and pictures and things that he made for me. And it's, uh, it's just clutter, clutter now. You're looking at it and you're thinking, I don't want to say it's clutter, but it's just items that are taking up space. And yeah, there's some items that I am keeping, and, it's stuff that has a special place in my heart. And um, it's just things that really mean a lot. And I was going through my son's items this week, and just to go through and just to have some time where I'm looking through some things and just remembering when he was little and things like that. And I became very emotional and started crying. And you have that. It's hard to let that go because they were children, and he was young and in daycare and in his early years of school, and now he's graduated high school and having his own life. And um, it's it's hard. So that's one of the bad things about it. You start to question. You're going through things, and I found that you start to question yourself and whether or not you actually need this item. What if I'm going to need it someday and I have to keep it? Or that's the one thing that I found myself doing. So again, at the end, I'm going to share some tips and some things that I did to get past that. So, the number one tip that I will share with you is to start small. Like I said, I knew eventually, sometime soon, that I would be selling my house. And I started earlier this year, even last year, I just started going through stuff and start small, start one drawer at a time or start one room at a time and just start slowly. Don't rush it. Don't wait till the last minute to do this because I think it's going to be more difficult, and just take that time to go through things slowly and to just decide if it's something that you're going to want to keep or donate. And on to my next tip is that I made several piles of things, and I had a keep pile, I had a donate pile, and I had a throwaway pile. So um, it made it a little bit easier. So I had a trash bag and things that I would find that I definitely knew I didn't need. I would put them right in the trash, and I had that trash bag full. And if I found that there were things that were still worthy of having around and donating, I would make a donate pile. There's a couple of local donation areas here that would take the items. We have our local high school that has an operation for donations for younger kids and families that are in need. So I donated some items to them. Also, Community Aid or Goodwill. Just do a Google search in your area and you'll find different locations where you can do the donations. So, some items that I have kept and that I am keeping. Physical items that he made for me. I'm not even sure what the heck this is, some sort of a gremlin or something But he made this for me. And then um, also there's this little birdhouse that he made me. And, these are items that I've kept and I'm going to keep those. So, um, again, other things that are special, I've taken pictures of, and I'll show those to you here. But um, it's like I said, it's a process, and you have to go through and decide what things are special to you and what you feel as though you need to keep, and you'll figure it out. And then my final tip for today is don't continue to buy stuff. Um, I have found that as I have gotten older, I really have, I don't buy stuff unless it's an absolute need anymore. Whether it's things for the house, especially for the house, a lot of this stuff that I've accumulated, I ended up donating and possibly even throwing away because it just didn't fit with where I'm going in life, I guess. So, just don't buy more things and more junk unless you absolutely need it. I hope this video was helpful for you today, and let me know in the comments what may have been hard for you to let go of as you're decluttering or downsizing. I'd love to hear, and I will see you next time.